Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Baluk and I'm a master's student here at Auburn University. I'm currently studying social sciences education. I'm in my third semester here, so making progress slowly but surely. I'm sure a couple of you guys are in that same boat. Like I said, I'm a social sciences education major. I actually have two different degrees and two different backgrounds, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I'm really excited to be here, and I've loved my time at Auburn so far. In my time at Auburn, I actually got an on-campus job as a graduate assistant, and I work for the Office for Student Engagement on the third floor of the Student Center. So if you guys ever have any questions, comments, concerns, come talk to me. I'm on the third floor. Me and one other graduate student will be leading our specific group for this semester, so I'm always available. Just shoot me an email and we'll get together if we need to and talk about whatever's going on. So a little bit about myself besides where I work and what my major is. I'm actually from Connecticut originally. I lived there till I was 6 in Stratford, Connecticut, for those of you guys who are familiar with New England. Then at the age of 6, I moved down to Georgia. My grandmother at the time had cancer, and Emory had one of the best cancer research facilities in the South. So we came down here so she could get treatment there. The whole family moved. That is 4 aunts and all of their families. So we're all down here. One aunt actually still lives in Connecticut, though, and I used to visit her every single summer up until I left for college. So I spent a lot of time in New England. Absolutely love it. Hopefully we'll end up there one day. As in terms of my family, we're very, very diverse, and I'll show you guys a picture. So this was at a wedding that we went to recently. That's me, my mom, Lisa, my dad, Sam, or Samir, and my sister, Jennifer. I am the oldest between me and Jennifer. There's a 4-year difference. She's now 21, which is so weird when your baby sister becomes 21. Whole other story. Mom and dad, again, are extremely diverse from very different cultural backgrounds. Mom is from New England originally, born and bred in Connecticut. Her family is very, very Irish. Dad, on the other hand, came over to the United States from Lebanon in the Middle East when he was 23, 24, and moved to Connecticut where he met my mother. So a very diverse family, culturally, religiously, which we'll get into in a little bit as well. My sister, Jennifer, she's a little spitfire and absolutely adore her, and she's currently attending Kennesaw State University, which is actually my alma mater. I also have a kitten, and this is a picture of her. She's running around somewhere. Her name is Nova. She loves potato chips, just like me. It's my little guilty pleasure there. And I've only had her for a couple months, so she's a new addition to my family, but she's very well loved and extremely spoiled. Y'all should have seen her Christmas. All right, so a little bit about my educational background here. I'm actually from Kennesaw State University. That was where I did my undergrad work. I got a bachelor's in medical sociology, and here's a little pendant from there. This was actually the original logo that we had, and then we switched it right after I got there, I think my sophomore year. I worked for admissions for 4 years, so if anyone's in undergrad admissions, I feel your pain. But it was a great time, and it taught me a lot of great skills, and I loved the coursework there. So that was a great place for me to be at that time in my life. Then I decided I wanted to go to grad school, so I went to Louisiana. I went to Southeastern Louisiana University, and I received my master's in criminology. So I have been all over the board. Decided after that I really wanted to go into teaching, and saw that we had a social sciences education program here at Auburn, and decided to apply. Got in the program to find out that it wasn't social sciences like psychology, sociology, philosophy. It was all that, anthropology, but we have an addition of political science, econ, government, geography, history, so I can teach quite a bit by the time I'm done. So that actually was really, really cool. While I was in college, I was a part of a sorority, and I was a sweetheart of a fraternity, and the sorority would be D Phi E, Delta Phi Epsilon, and yes, this is a unicorn. This was one of my 2 mascots. Don't judge me. Great time. We were the unicorns and the butterflies. Apparently, we really liked fairy tales. And then as well, I am a member of the Delta Chi fraternity when I became their sweetheart. So that's a little t-shirt we had made with D Phi E and Delta Chi, and about 50 million these a semester. If anyone's in a sorority or fraternity, I'm sure you're aware of how many t-shirt orders come out. And being from Georgia, I do like my Georgia sports. I love my Georgia sports team. So Falcons fan, hardcore, and I've been to many Braves games. So if you like the Braves, definitely going to be talking to you throughout the semester, as well as my Falcons fans and my Hawks fans. So great Georgia sports there. So now on to the point of this assignment, this video number 1. We're here to talk about the funds of knowledge. So after a little bit of reflection time and reading through some of the material, I came up with a list, so bear with me if I keep looking away because I'm looking at my list here, to talk to you guys about and so you guys can see where I come from and how that's affected my funds of knowledge. The first one goes back to my family in terms of religion. As I mentioned before, we're an extremely diverse family. My mother is from New England. She's very much Catholic. My father's from Lebanon, and he's Muslim. And my sister classifies herself as a Christian, and I myself as a Catholic. So tons of diversity here, and how that can help me in the future is I feel like I can take this to sociology classrooms to teach about diversity and religious diversity and things of that nature. Even religion classes are offered on campuses, on most campuses, so that would also be interesting. So through at home and learning about the different cultures and different religions that my family personally associates with, that's actually given me a better understanding of what there is out in the world and what's being represented. Another thing I want to talk about is baking, actually. Me and my mother love baking. From the time I was little, we've been baking cupcakes and cookies and brownies and cakes. Like, this woman loves to bake. So if anyone likes to bake, I got a ton of recipes. Come talk to me. But what's really cool about this is baking can actually relate to math. So through baking with my mom and growing up, she actually gave me really great fundamental knowledge of ounces, how to add things together, how to subtract things when we're making these cookies or these brownies. So that was a really cool way for me to get to learn more about math, which I struggle with, hence why I was a sociologist and in social sciences. And she gave me a good base for that, so that was pretty cool. Another thing I want to talk about is our family extracurricular activities by way of what we do on the weekends. So we really like to go hiking and go to orchards. And this was kind of cool because this teaches me, or did teach me, and still does because we still do it, about geography and agriculture. So by using those experiences and thinking back to where I've been and what orchard, like Mercer Orchards in Georgia, is awesome. Blue Ridge has tons of gorgeous, gorgeous hiking trails to Lula Falls. I actually got to learn about the geography of Georgia. So I could take this into the classroom as well with geography or agriculture. What specific fruits and vegetables are local to different parts and different regions of the United States. So can definitely use those there and got some really great knowledge about Georgia in itself just by doing that with my family on the weekends. Another thing I want to talk about, and this kind of goes back to sociology, is my parents' employment. My dad is a firefighter / paramedic, primarily a paramedic for Gwinnett County. He works for Gwinnett, and then he's also in National Registry as well, so he's doing 2 different locations. He's a lieutenant, so he has quite a bit of responsibility for training other paramedics and everything, and I really look up to him. He's one of my heroes for sure. But watching him do this, it's kind of helped me to understand the process and the idea of heroification. It's a term we use in history, and I'm sure in other fields as well, but I've heard about it through history. And that's when people take specific individuals or roles throughout society and associate them with this title of hero. So what that means, what is a hero? We see this one title and we say, oh, that's it, he's a hero, without actually knowing the individual. I am fortunate enough to say that my father truly is my hero, not just because of his label, but because of who he is as a person. So from a young age, I really got to fully understand what heroes are and how they differ from person to person, and then how society labels heroes as a whole. Also, with his job, you can also relate that back to anatomy. My dad used to tell me about the different paramedic calls he would go on and things like that and what was wrong with them. And by listening to his stories, I actually got to learn about the body. And as a dancer later on in my career, also reinforced that anatomy. I danced up through my undergrad career, and I stopped then. But I've been dancing since I've been like 3 years old with Mommy and Me classes. So that actually got to help me learn a lot about anatomy outside the classroom. So that's kind of cool. And nutrition as well. For my mother, my mom she works in the tax assessor's office for Gwinnett County as well, back in Georgia. And she's one of the higher up managerial positions that they have there. And this was really interesting because I related this back to my sociology background in terms of gender roles. And her field, especially within Gwinnett County and with the tax assessor's office, is very male dominated. And she has run into some challenges in terms of where these individuals think that she should be spending her time. And my mother is a very strong woman, and she's a very outspoken feminist, so those are some of the values that have kind of shaped my own upbringing. And with that being said, I think I could, from a young age, understand that people may think that gender should be in specific locations through, conditioning and things like that. And I know you guys are probably familiar with, Barbie dolls and cooking kitchens and this and that. And as we've progressed throughout society and throughout time, we've gotten a little bit more. I'd say well-rounded, more open to the fact that males and females can take on these alternative roles here that aren't so stereotypically known. But I think that my mom's affiliation with the tax assessor's office and working for the county and how male-dominated that was gave me a really good idea from a young age about what the challenges are that some genders might face in certain areas of employment. And lastly, I want to talk about my language learning experiences. I have one specific teacher I want to talk about here, and her name was Miss Snow. I had her as my first grade teacher, and she was one of the biggest blessings I've ever had in my life. I actually started school earlier because I lived in Connecticut, and when I moved down here, I started school somehow earlier than I was supposed to by a year. And they passed me through kindergarten, and then first grade, she said, we'll pass her, but I think for developmental reasons, we should keep her behind a year. So they did. Best things that they ever did. I was having issues with reading at the time, and Miss Snow, she changed my life. She is why I wanted to become a teacher. At some point, I knew I wanted to teach. She had constant contact with my parents 24/7, checking in, asking my parents what I'm doing at home and how she can help me relay those values into the classroom to help me learn better. So she was thinking outside the box even back then. As well, she also had me work with my hands a lot. So building blocks with math, even with reading, I was allowed to take a little block and follow the text so I could read word by word by word. I was actively engaged. The books that we worked on reading were all about animals. She knew how much I loved kittens, so she found me books on kittens every single time we practiced. So my language learning, the one person, I know there's many other experiences that we all have, but that was the one I really wanted to focus in on. Miss Snow took various practices from my home life and brought them into the classroom to help me learn. A lot of my language learning has come from that. A lot of it's also come from my cultural diverse background and my family. A lot of it's come from my place of employment and learning about different cultures and religions and individuals, working within the Auburn University program, and I've also worked for universities ever since I've been in college. That's really helped me in my language learning and learning, quite frankly, how different everything is for everyone and how much everyone can teach you if you let them. So I've had to learn through various outlets, various ways, through communication, through reading, through writing, through my hands, through verbal, through everything you could possibly think of. But Miss Snow, I think, is the biggest one that I wanted to mention here today. My future plans, I want to get done with school. I'm sure we all do. I want to finish this up, this accelerated master's program, take the credits I can apply into my PhD, making sure my electives are doing well with that, so that way that'll be an easy transition. Get my PhD and go to teach. I want to teach probably in Georgia, keeping my options open since I'm networking a lot in Auburn, so maybe I'll be here and teaching here. And then eventually just teach at a university level probably. Want to do a little mix of both, but when I have children about 50 years from now, I want to make sure that I can be in a middle school or high school that's close to them. And I think that's about it. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'm going to be here for you guys if you need anything at all. I'll make sure that I send my email out and my cell phone number out. So like I said, throughout the semester, if you have questions on an assignment or anything like that, I can help you out. Looking forward to a great semester with you all. Contact me anytime you need anything, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye!